Hey, it's me. How's everybody doing? It's the weekend. I want to play some video games, but mostly I want to take the gamer quiz. I figured it's about time to publicize my gamer SATs after they've been sealed for so many years. Figured I'd retake the whole thing too, just to prove something. What am I gonna prove? I don't know. I just wanted to stream. I missed everybody. Hi everybody. Hi Jordan. Hey Jampolian. Neko Majoko. Hello to Maple. Hello to Dot Level. Hello Bear Eat Salmon and Crade. Hello Flemish Dog. Hello Dr. Funk. Hellspectre. Rachel Retro. Smebble Bear. Hello. Hello everybody. Tosiru. Hello. Hello to Marigold. Hello to... Gosh, this is going back a ways. Is that everybody? Camping Luna, hello. Juan, hello. And Bug, hello. Okay, I think I said hello to everybody. Jerry Harris, hello. You don't get away without a hello. You don't think I don't see you too, Fel. Hello to you, Fel. I don't know, I'm in kind of a goofy mood tonight. I want to do something goofy, something silly, something maybe gaming adjacent. So if you're on Twitter, you see these polls going up, these quizzes. They're all like, what kind of variety gamer are you? The most popular one is all like 100 franchises, and it's all like, which ones have you played? Check all that apply, and then count up your score. And it's all like, have you played a game in the Mario series? Have you played a Sonic the Hedgehog? Have you ever played... Hang on, this is obscure. Have you ever played Donkey Kong? They wouldn't put Time Gal on that list. They're too scared. Ultimo, thank you for the 250 bits. Or being quizzed. Have you played Assassin's Creed? Have you played Castlevania? That list kind of falls apart when it comes to games like Age of Empires, when I'm like, I've never played that. I'm not a PC gamer. What kind of obscure shit is that? Straw Bros, hello. Yeah, this is the R4 OST. I like this. Hopefully it's not one of the OSTs that gets you copyright struck, but it's not Cookie's Bustle, so we should be fine. The stream has started. Get this out of here. Let's close some windows. Start with some stream maintenance. Oh, thank you for the hype train. Thanks Ultimo for the bits. Thank you Tosiru for 3 months. Thank you Dot Level for 11 months. And thank you Maple for the 2 months. A lot of French fries going around tonight. Make sure you share if you can. So yeah, there's these quizzes that are going around. All just like, have you played Mario? Have you played Sonic? I wanted to get to a real quiz. A quiz that could actually challenge my gamer ability. That's not the link. Let me get the link to this so everyone can take this quiz. It's this one. It looks like this. Feel free to take it and post your score. This can be a collaborative thing if you want. Oh yeah, while I'm here, let me use the features of Twitch. This list was made by Lily, Bear Eat Salmon, an excellent streamer. Highly recommended you follow her. She's doing this thing where she's playing every single Devil May Cry like ever made, which means she plays like the Nightmare Before Christmas PS2 game, and like the fucking... God, what was that one PAL exclusive game that was horrible? That was fun. Kyrick, hello. Welcome. Yeah, so this is a variety gamer quiz we can all relate to. Code of the Samurai, that's what that was. Yeah, Japanese and PAL PS2 exclusive, so you know it's good. It was so bad, I couldn't believe that shit. I want to play that game. Alright, now how am I going to do this? Is OBS complex enough to handle MS Paint? Does that show up? I think it does. Okay, we're good. Now notice something interesting about this list. The other lists you see around, they're all like, have you played these games? And it's all like franchises with like 200 games in them. This one, it's like, It specifically says conquered the trials of, which implies that these are games that not only have you checked out just out of morbid curiosity, but you're actually twisted enough to go ahead and beat them. So this is a Macaw 45 list. Let me stress that Lily made this as a joke. I think she made a reply that was all like, this is the worst thing I've ever made. And yet some people went ahead and filled this out with all sincerity. And I'm going to be one of those people. What I figure I'll do is I'll mark the ones that I've beaten with green and the ones that I failed the gamer challenge of with red. Just so we can all be on the same page here. Start this off. Quantum Gate? No, that's not... No, I chose this color, not that color. It's giving me the wrong freaking color. How do you use MS Paint? I swear to fucking God, dude. I'm clicking on the red. I'm clicking the red. Give me red. Oh my God, okay. We finally come to an understanding. Quantum Gate. Sorry to say, I have failed the gamer challenge. Mostly because I played the Saturn version, which was only released in Japan. It's kind of a problem. This is a FMV adventure game for PCs. Doesn't it involve like artificial intelligence or something? Is that the one where like it'll show people on the screen and it'll put the words fake human on their head or something? Or like artificial or something? Artificial person, that's what it is, Smibble. That game looked amazing, but obviously I want to play that in English someday. Maybe the Japanese Sega Saturn version, not the ideal version to play in this case. Captain Blood is next. I have not even played that. That's not even getting marked. As far as I know, that is, God, that's like a French Amiga game, I think? Anyone know anything about Captain Blood? Is that the one where, like, you have a fake language that you have to put together? Atari ST and Amiga. This game is like Danny Kryptonite. I've been trying to get ancient PC games working all day for reasons. And I figure someday soon I'll probably have to play Captain Blood, but that experience is not something I've had just yet. Yeah, it's like a pirate game. It's like... It's hard to explain. It's just one of those games where you really got to get into it. Alright, check this out, though. Virtual Hydlide. I've beaten many times. I've speedran it. And I've done multiple streams of it, so that's going to go ahead and be checked right there. I don't have to defend my credentials as one of the 3 people who have played Virtual Hydlide. Actually, it's kind of in vogue nowadays. I've seen Zophar of Zophar's Domain play this. He started speedrunning it. He got Gyre to put up some times finally, too. Up until recently, Gyre was like the only person here on Twitch who ever played Virtual Hydlide. And now it's exploded in popularity to 400% of its player base as it was before, which is to say 4 people. Yeah, the Zophar of his domain himself. Hey, there's real Hydlide if you're sick of Virtual Hydlide. There's plenty of real Hydlides as well. Communication space alien game. Like, there's a few games in that genre, like freaking... Oh, that horrible PS1 game that Super Great Friend played, Sentient? I guess it's not horrible, it's just really, really complex. A Craig Stadler fan. Virtual Hydlide is the best game built off of a golf engine ever made. Yeah, you could have put Sentient on there, because that's another game that only single-digit number of people have played. Is Chubo playing it? Is that what he's playing right now? Holy shit. Wow, of all the people to play that game, he is the person to play it. Only he has the patience for freaking Sentient. Mode is a tough one. I don't know what I should... God. This should be like a technical checkmark because I watched the Super Great Friend playthrough, which is very thorough. It covers every single scene in the game. The game itself I've only played for like an hour, but I think I should get extra points because I have a sealed copy of it. I literally have one of the sealed copies that freaking, what was the company? Corel? They made like 10 of them, and then they put them in their warehouse, and then they canceled the game. The game was literally canceled, so there's like single-digit number of copies out there. Should that count extra? Should I get bonus points for that? I'm gonna go ahead and mark that an X. Someday I will have the dome experience of mode. God, that game is so stupid. I don't think points matter anymore because I own mode. Yeah, but it's sealed, so I can never open it. It's a curse. It's always going to be taunting me. That game has some good cover art, by the way. If you've never seen it, it's just like a weird-looking dude looking upwards. I don't know what they were trying to communicate there. Well, Jordan, there's this thing called supply and demand. I'm acquainted with this because I have several games that are extremely rare, but also they're so rare no one knows about them, so no one gives a shit about them. Should I slab it? There's a couple of games I own that I'm thinking of slabbing. Get a nice slab party going on. Farmsteads, hello. We're talking about slabbing. Owning a game that shouldn't exist probably counts as conquering the challenge. I'm going to say that's a win in my heart, but for the sake of this, we're going to go ahead and just stick with the rules. As much as I want to check that off. Now, Week of Garfield. No question. I beat this game. I did it without save states. Check this out. Afterwards, I wrote a 2-page article for a print publication about it. I'm just giving myself all kinds of extra points across the board here. Who else can say that? You can't say you've written for a print publication in the last 5 years. They don't exist anymore. I wrote that article for Hardcore Gamer magazine. The Game Fan successor that everybody forgot. And for good reason. Laser Lords. Everybody knows what Laser Lords is. That is a CDI classic. A game that, again, Super Great Friend played through very thoroughly. And while I own a copy of the game and the CDI to play it on, god damn it, paint, give me the right color. Unfortunately, I've only played like an hour of it. That game is so complex, dude. Like, you don't even know. I think for anyone who even knows this game, you may have kind of a skewed perspective of it because of how Super Great Friends playthrough went. What happened, basically, is that there's this place on planet Fornax you go. Don't worry about the terminology, it doesn't matter. And there's like this Russian roulette minigame that you play. And I think the way the game works is you're supposed to lose like 99% of the time. So you just die. But in Super Great Friends playthrough, he won. He hit the jackpot, and he ended up getting enough money to cover the entire rest of the game. He never needed to go for cash at any point. He just hit the jackpot and was rich for the entire game. So for as complex as it looked when he played it, it's even more complex if you try. Especially on original hardware. I don't know how he did that. It's on the list, though. I really want to play that on stream someday. Power Shovel. Hell yeah. Amazing game. Amazing PS1 variety game. You can have an excavator. You can dunk it in the swimming pool and pick up turtles. You can get big shovelfuls of dirt. It's basically everything. Baby Huey VTuber never. Maybe it's like a donation incentive. Give me $100,000 and I will be Baby Huey for a minute. Really recommend Power Shovel. Now Wizardry 4. Who knows Wizardry 4? This freaking game. Of all... like, of any Wizardry game you could have put on the list, the absolute most shit-posty thing you could have done is put Wizardry 4 on there. If you don't know what this is, Wizardry 1 through 3 were by the, basically the same guy, or the same team, who was intended to be done with the series after that. And then for Wizardry 4, they brought in this one... He wasn't even a game designer, he was just like a really big Wizardry fan, and they had him design Wizardry 4 to be as difficult and complex as possible. As in, it's almost impossible to get out of the first room of the game without looking up the solution. Yeah, just plan out a party, reroll the stats. It's not so simple with Wizardry 4. There's a really good Let's Play of it on the Let's Play archive that I recommend. But oh my god, I don't know if I'd ever play it myself. Speaking of games I never thought I'd play myself, Realms of the Haunting. That is a Let's Play game for me. That is a PC game through and through. It's the kind of game I look at and I'm like, oh, someone else can play this. I'm probably not going to have a good time with it. It's like a first-person shooter / adventure game that looks really cool. It does. I can see why everyone loves it. But it is not a game for Danny to play. Wizardry 4 or Shin Megami Tensei 0. A game that's cool, unlike Omicron. Well, that's not untrue. That's a good sales pitch. Just be like, hey, it's not Omicron. You're not gonna have that bad of an experience with it. Where the hell am I? Not Treasure Hunter. Jesus Christ. What a list this is, I says. I own a copy of this game. I've gotten like 30 of the endings in it. This is almost like a prototypical visual novel, except it's like it's got tank controls and 3D environments and something like 60 or 70 different endings that you can get just by doing completely ridiculous things. It's regarded as Kusoge in Japan. The thing was, like, I think the conclusion people came to with this game is that they spent zero budget on the actual game itself and all the budget on the voice actors they hired, who were all like famous guys from Gundam. The main guy is like, what's his name? He's that Char guy. You know. I've never watched Gundam. I can't pretend like I know what I'm talking about, but that's apparently what happened. They spent all their money on that one voice actor and they were like, shit, we gotta make a game about this now. I am for real, yeah. You have a not Treasure Hunter telephone card. Holy shit. That is some rare merch. I don't know if they were trying to make a real game. They released it for full price, so I assume they were kind of serious. But yeah, if you see the game in action, it's like, how are they serious with this? The running motion, the kicks you do. Absolutely ridiculous game. And yeah, we covered that as part of Retro Pals a long time ago. I think that was so long ago that we covered it as Adventure Pals. Like, oof. Bet the audio on that is rough. But the game's good, so maybe watch it with the sound down. Clock Tower 2. If this was Clock Tower 1 for PS1, I would give that a check mark. But instead, I'm not even able to give it an X because I've never actually played it myself. This is like insanely bad, right? Like not even good in a you can laugh at it sort of way. Has anyone played this? I always felt like no one played PS1 Clock Tower 1. I rented that back when it was new and it was, well, I guess I liked it. It was weird and tough to get through, but it was also kind of funny. This sounds like a Mario game for sure. Clock Tower 3, I forgot about that one. That basically is a magical girl anime. I don't know, maybe it's the kind of game I need to watch a Let's Play of instead of trying to play it myself. Then again, I've been getting more into the PS1 lately, since I realized that modern emulators can use save states, and thus relieve a lot of the tedium that those games have. That's how I describe my love life. Sorry for the bad comedian impression. I don't know what I was going for there. Simple 2000 Series Volume 95, The Zombie vs. QQ-Sha. Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go. Has anyone but me played all the way through The Zombie vs. Ambulance for PS2? What a terribly boring game that is after the first half hour or so. Basically, you control an ambulance. It's kind of like Crazy Taxi, only with, you know, an ambulance and zombies. This is another game that I got back when it was new, and I reviewed it for Hardcore Gamer magazine. I think I gave it a 2 out of 5, which is maybe a little generous. It's a high concept and it's so cool. It's one of those games that sells itself on the concept, and yet you try to play it and it just completely falls apart. Quantum Gate, yeah. Hey, Bobinator. I mentioned that's a game I eventually want to play through, but maybe not on the Japanese Sega Saturn. You are right. It is no Maid Clothes and Machine Gun. I finally saw that whole game because Mario played all the way through that the other day. That's like the perfect video game. It's about maids. It's 2 hours long. Why doesn't everyone else do that? Does Hardcore Gamer Magazine pay well? That's the funniest thing I've seen in chat tonight. Moving on. Super Mario Bros. Special. That is a big fat no, unfortunately. We did stream this at one point. I think I streamed like an hour of it and we got to World 3? I don't even know if we got to World 3. It was extremely tedious and extremely bad. Like, even if you're good at platformers. Yeah, people piecing this together. Oh no, I wouldn't try to play Maid Clothes and Machine Gun for rank. That sounds really tedious. If you've never seen Mario Brothers Special, I highly recommend looking it up. Only the true gamers play it, and actually play it through to the end, though. Who was it who played it recently and like had it glitch or something? Does anyone know what I'm talking about? I think it was a VTuber, but which VTuber? Yes, Foxandra, there you go. Yeah. She got to like World 5 or World 6 and then just encountered like a wall of garbage. And not like a wall of garbage you could glitch through. It was just like, no, game's over here. It's the game that refuses to be finished. I don't know, I haven't seen that Let's Play. Anyone who plays through that game deserves their gamer... I was going to say gamer boots. You're not awarded boots for being a gamer? A medal. They should give you a medal. Sorry, Omicron fans. This is not a game I have the patience for. Another game that is definitely made to be watched, to watch other people play. I've only played the Dreamcast version for a couple hours, but oh my god, it was a chore. Just continuously mashing triangle. The dodge tech in that seemed to work pretty well. Yeah, we streamed Laser Lords once, but I haven't beaten it. I have seen the full Super Great Friend Let's Play, which, again, highly recommended. I don't think anyone else is ever going to record a Let's Play of that game. It's just, it might be too obscure. Speaking of too obscure, I wish I could tell you that I beat this one. I wish I could. Up until recently, I thought there was a complete fan translation of this. I really thought that someone went and finished the game, and it's fully completable from beginning to end, but no, they actually gave up like 60% of the way through. Hoshio Miruhito is a really infamously terrible kusoge for Famicom. It's like an RPG. Only they do really fucked up things like making the villages invisible, and making so you can't see the singles digit of your hit point counter. Like, what the fuck? Like, some things were seriously wrong with that game. And what's weird is I know the guy who translated it. He usually sticks through with his translation projects. Like, everything else in his profile is just like 100% done. He just eventually sticks through it if it takes so many years, but this game was apparently just so legendarily bad, he was just like, no, I can't do this anymore. I think he even added some improvement patches to it too, like he doubled the walking speed and made it so he can't get soft locked. It's a really messed up game. Choaniki, who knows this one? If you don't know Choaniki, maybe listen to a recent episode of the Retronauts podcast. It features some dorks called the Retro Pals who talk about video games for gays. Basically, that's why we were brought on. I wish I could tell you that I've beaten the original Choaniki. I really wish I could. This feels wrong. This feels really wrong. Now, if this was Choaniki, yeah, I've gotten good at that game. I can beat Choaniki, but the original, I can't do it. I couldn't do Wings of War either. That's a little bit too difficult for me, too. Yeah, gamers only. We made a good argument for this game. We were like, is it kitsch? Is it something more? It's kitschy and it's fun. I think that's the conclusion we came to. These last 4 entries have been pathetic. These are all games that I should have finished by all means. To keep my gamer badge. I'm gonna be kicked off the gamer force. But wait if I told you? Hang on, don't take away my gamer badge just yet. What if I told you that I've beaten Crypt Killer? What if I told you that I beat Crypt Killer when it was new? Way back when it was on the PS1. I rented this from Blockbuster. I don't know why. I don't know why, Smebble. I instantly knew. I knew someone would ask why, which is why I said I killed the crypt. If you've never seen this, it's a polygonal light gun game by Konami. Kind of like a follow-up to their Lethal Enforcers games. Konami was really flailing around in light gun games before they hit upon that whole sniper subgenre with, what was that series? Silent Scope? For me, though, I always remember all the fucked up games that I saw in arcades back then. I've actually seen that one game that they released for the M2 hardware called Hell Knight? Is that correct? That's not correct. Hell Knight is a PS1 game. Oh, it's gonna kill me. What the hell was that game called? Evil Knight! Yes! BBH, thank you. Extremely fucked up game. It has, like, bad performance. The frame rate chugs. It's on M2 hardware, which was prototype hardware, so it stops to load in between levels. And what's great is that it's 3-player, but 2 players just get pistols, and the 3rd player gets a big-ass shotgun, which is way better. So that's neat. Would not recommend Crypt Killer. Maybe download the ISO for PS1 if you're curious. I think it even got a Saturn release of all things. I think sometimes about how there's like 200 US Sega Saturn games that got released, and then you look at some of the shit that actually was part of that lineup, and you're like, oh my god, what a waste. No, it's not one of the few Sega CD32X games. That's Corpse Killer. I can see how you got mixed up, though. Corpse Killer I finished, and I finished Crypt Killer. Oh, it's okay, we're learning here. We're taking the gamer SATs together. We're upping our gamer IQ. Okay, so, based on what you've seen so far, based on the number of checks and X's on this list, what do you think my answer for Darkwing Duck is going to be? I'm curious here. We have a no. We have a I refuse to believe that game can be completed. You clearly mastered the duck. Alright, Mooware got me. I've beaten Darkwing Duck, but I've only done it on easy mode. I was inspired to play through it after watching Dot Level get all the way to the last boss on normal mode, and unfortunately die there. If she were to fill out this list, I told her that she should just go ahead and put a check mark there. But I also earned it, damn it. Easy is also impossible. This game's fucked up, it plays bad. It feels bad to play. Exactly, it fills the screen with all these tiny projectiles, and like the hitboxes are fucked, and you have to land on things dead center to get the hop to register. Massively fucked game. I do hope you play it again, though. Okay, now it's time for my chance to shine. You say, have you beaten Mansion of Hidden Souls? And I say, which one? The Sega CD or the Sega Saturn version? Because I've beaten fucking both. And I've made videos about them, and I stream them too. I've even streamed and beaten the sequel that no one knows exists, Lunacy for Sega Saturn. The game that only reveals it's a sequel literally in the last 5 seconds. It's cool as hell. What an amazing series. System Satcom Classics here. It's basically Myst-like. You're navigating this series of FMV sequences pretty much. You're exploring this mansion full of evil butterflies. I love it. I can't get enough of it. I actually had Mansion of Hidden Souls for Sega CD when it was new because I owned a Sega CD. It wasn't until years later I played the Sega Saturn sequel, though. Now, me and Alex, we have our differences. I like the Sega CD one better. He prefers the Sega Saturn version due to the story. I don't know about the Saturn one. I'm not sold on that. It just didn't have the same feel. Plus, there's all those weird polygonal talking heads. I don't know what was up with that. You say goodbye, I say, I beat Hidden Souls. It's my favorite Beatles song. I agree, it is one of the best games. Mansion of Hidden Souls for Sega CD is on my top 100 for sure. Yeah, the thing about the Saturn version is it all comes together in the last half hour or so and becomes completely insane. And at that point you're like, okay, I'm glad I played through this. Lifescape 2 Body Bionics. Kyoi no Shochu Jintai. Is this real? Hang on. Lifescape 2, is it real? It's a Saturn game. Hang on, I'm watching this. Ooh, okay. No, I need to play this. I need to play this like right away. This is Danny Core right here. Holy shit. Go ahead and look up a gameplay video for Lifescape 2 if you've never seen this game. I think I might have heard of the first one. It's a shooter? No, I'm wrong. I never heard of this in my life. Holy shit. Okay, that one's going on the to-stream list for sure. It's an educational game. Of course it is. I just flipped to random footage and it looks like a third-person shooter. I can't tell what it is either. I gotta play this shit. Alright, well, you haven't made up a fake game, but unfortunately I haven't played it either. Yeah, look at that. Looks incredible. Okay, JJ Squawkers. You've played through it. I've played through it. We all know and love JJ Squawkers. I've beaten this in co-op on stream, so I'm just gonna go ahead and count that as being as good as a 1cc. Don't worry about how many credits I used to finish it. It's missing Chite Tairiku Hodora. True, this could use more mass platformers for Famicom Disk System. I'm always saying this. Oh, Atlantis no Nazo, now you're speaking my language. Atlantis no Nazo. It's probably really annoying how I keep pumping up my qualifications for this list, but bear with me for this one. Sorry, I'm gonna be super annoying about this one because I love Atlantis no Nazo. I got the ending, I got the secret ending. I haven't done the ridiculous ending where you don't get the invincibility item and you just have to dodge all the shit at the end like Drop did somehow. However, let me point this out. I like Atlantis no Nazo so much that I pronounce it Atlantis to make me sound more sophisticated. But also, I literally bought a prototype of Super Pitfall 2 and dumped it. The unreleased US version. That's how much I love Atlantis no Nazo. Yeah, Atlantis no Nazo. Super good game. Almost unplayable for most people. I'm not bougie. I bought a repro that they told me not to dump, and then I dumped it anyway. That's how that worked. Unplayable platformer. 100 levels of pure nonsense, warping back and forth. The controls are impossible. Even if you know what you're doing, you're still gonna get fucked. But I love it. I love Atlantis no Nazo. Super Pitfall 2, weirdly enough, they made it easier. You can see the version differences I documented in that post. It's not much, but they do give you a big-ass bonus for getting the secret ending, so that's cool. Oh no, I didn't delete the ROM after 24 hours. That ROM's been up since... That ROM's been up since August 9th, 2010. Uh-oh. Oh boy. How many years in prison is that? Let's not think about that. Man enough. Oh my god. Unfortunately, no. I've never played this. It's on the list, though. This is a freaking dating sim? I want to say it's a National Lampoon game, but I think I'm confusing that with something else. This is like a homegrown dating sim game that uses full motion video. It's extremely dank. Didn't Macaw stream this, literally? If you got a game on this list where the only time you've ever heard of it is when Macaw streamed it, you know you're in trouble. Yeah, he did. I thought that sounded familiar. Yeah, that sounds right up his alley. I'm thinking of doing a future patron poll where it's just like 2 PC games head-to-head for boys and for girls. For boys, it'll be Man Enough. For girls, it'll be Mackenzie & Co. We'll see what wins. Horrible stream idea. I hope I never actually do that. Magical Date EX Sotsugyo Kokuhaku Daisakusen. Holy shit. So, from what I can tell, this is the arcade sequel to Magical Date. What I have done is I played all the way through and streamed the PS1 Magical Date, which I'm pretty sure is a compilation of Magical Date 1 and 2, so I'm gonna go ahead and count that. This is by Taito, I think. It uses PS1 hardware in arcades, so the character models are pretty chunky looking. It's like a dating sim board game minigame compilation. If you've ever seen the Frog minigame from this, you may recognize that. It's like a really serious head-to-head fighter with like some really intense depth for what it is, and it's just frogs trying to lick each other. Exactly, yeah. It's only known for the frog fighting minigame. Otherwise, it's just like a bunch of shit that you see in, it's like Point Blank, only without the light guns. Something like that. One second. Entomorph. Is it a real game? Marigold, thank you for the sub. Hope you're enjoying the stream. I'm trying to figure out if this game is real or not. Can anyone tell me if this is a real game? It's real as hell. It's real. It's realer than Obscuratory. Holy shit. Let's play Entomorph. May contain bugs. That sounds good.
Okay, welcome back.
Oh no, no! Alright, I was watching Let's Plays in the background, sorry. You caught me. Oh, it's one of these games! Oh no. This is like a D&D thing. Or at least some kind of super complex PC RPG. In the vein of an Ultima. It reminds me a little bit of Legacy of Kain, but it's probably not as cool as that game. Oh, from the same devs as the D&D games. Hey, Codeman. Alright, this looks cool. I gotta admit something. The only game that looks like this that I've ever played is the Super Nintendo port of Ultima 7. So maybe I haven't given that whole genre a fair shake. Dehumanize yourself and face to Entomorph. Is Entomorph even a real word? Okay, this is super complex. Not a game for me. But it's a good game that other people can play. Any case, never played it, never heard of it. You win this one, Lily. Soldier Boys. What can I say for this one? I've seen a complete playthrough and attempted a complete playthrough on stream, but unfortunately failed it. I think I was switching off with Alex and we got to like an unwinnable situation where we went into like a series of levels with 1 health. I know, we just got to the end too. It was right before the part where the dude is in the minefield and he's all like left to right, left to right. But we couldn't do it because we ended up soft locking somehow. Or not soft locking, just like ending up in an impossibly tough situation. I have seen the movie. The movie is on Tubi if you want to see that. I gotta say, way less entertaining than the game. Also, the game is directed by Darren Aronofsky, and the movie is not. So the game is literally better. It's way better shot. It's more entertaining. It doesn't have a bunch of just nothingness. It's one of those movies where you sit through it and you're like, I could be watching anything else. This is just not entertaining. Soldier Boys, that's the guy who made fun of Braid, yeah. This game got no point. You just drink the time juice. You've seen Soldier Boys. It's a real nothing movie, isn't it? I can barely tell you if I remember anything from it. There was like a scene on a bridge. That's it. That's all I remember. Game's stupid as hell. Mega Man DOS. Should be the kind of game I finished. We played it on Mascot Friday. We did not complete it. This is a shameful mark. I could easily rectify this in like an hour if I just wanted to play Mega Man DOS. But why don't I just boot up Soldier Boys and change that X to a check mark? I'm really tempted. Paris-Dakar Rally Special. Another shameful mark. I should, by all means, have beaten Paris-Dakar Rally Special, but I'm saving it for stream. I'm gonna go in semi-blind, like I know that it's a ridiculous Kusoge, and like, it bills itself as a racing game, and yet you spend the entire game doing ridiculous shit that has nothing to do with racing. I'm sure I've never beat it on stream. I know we've played it before. We just never got all the way to the end. We should stream it. Didn't you stream it, Strawbros? That sounds kind of familiar. Every time I've seen someone stream this or play this, they always have a blast. And of course it was on Game Center CX, so really good episode of that. It is! It is! It really is the most Sarduce game ever made, and yet I have not played all the way through the whole thing. That's dedication. You'll even watch Soldier Boys. Holy shit. It is a really good Game Center CX episode. He suffers so much at the hands of that game. Urban Yeti. I do know the world's Urban Yeti expert. That is Cass of Bad Game Hall of Fame. She wrote like several tens of thousands of words about this. Unfortunately, I have not beaten it. Strange prototypical Grand Theft Auto-like for Game Boy Advance where you control a Bigfoot in a city. And it's the kind of game where like they know that they're making something ridiculous. And it's also very unpleasant, yes. It has songs in the soundtrack that are literally unlistenable. But there's something about it. It's got that GBA je ne sais quoi, you know? From the makers of Dual Environment. They didn't make shit. I guess they tried to. Game Boy Color Animorphs, that's really good too. Yeah, for Sasquatch lovers only. Saint Aspartame, thank you for the 7 months. Urban Yeti for president, I agree. Let's endorse him. Let's get him through the DNC. Spare some change, mister. I forgot. What I want to do is make a variety gamer list consisting of nothing but games that have been on classics of game. Now that would be a real obscure list. I'm sorry, I just haven't played Wizardry 4 at all. I did read all the way through the Let's Play, but that doesn't count as playing. And finishing up with Elden Ring. I haven't played Elden Ring. Has anybody? I mean, there's Obscure, and then there's Elden Ring. I'm not gonna play that shit. So let's count this up. Check marks. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Pathetic. Awful. See me after class. 11 out of fucking 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's like, what, 26? No, let me count that again. 30. Whoa, hey, hang on. I could barely see my cursor is the thing. Hmm. 11 out of 30. I thought I'd do better. I was hoping to hit at least half, but I'm sure I could bring that up just by playing some of the games that I have X's through. I could knock out Mega Man DOS in like a single stream. If I really wanted to go nuts, I could finish Urban Yeti. But would I still be capable of gaming ever again afterward? Choaniki, I want to get that up to a check, I'm pretty sure. Alright, anyone else want to quickly go through this list and post your scores? What's your gamer scores on this list? Has anyone beaten me? That's what I'm curious about. I know we got some real Kusoge heads in here, so... man, probably. Famed retro streamer .level only got a 3 on this quiz. That's a good quiz. See, that's why I had to take this quiz, because this is a legit challenge. Jordan Mallory got a 1. Which one is that, Jordan Mallory? Strawbros got like 2. That's okay. Muware, you were who I was thinking of. Yeah, Muware's done speedruns of Darkwing Duck and Paris Dakar, and like... haven't you beaten... what's that game? Miracle Rope It? You're the one human who has understood that game ever. Elden Ring. Let's all point and laugh at Jordan for playing Elden Ring. 0, because that's what you pay me for. That's true. You pay me so you don't have to play these games. 0, but you started 4. Fire Rock. Fire Rock you can swap that out for any game on this list. Sorry, Lily. I'm making up new rules for how this works. Yeah, either Fire Rock or Fire Bam. One of the two. Yeah, you're on the hook for that. You gotta play some Fire Rock. God, that's gonna be so good. You're gonna enjoy it for like an hour, and then afterwards you're just gonna be like, I don't want to play Fire Rock anymore. Should I play Fire Bam? I do like Zelda 2, and that looked like a really twisted version of Zelda 2. They're all from LPs you watched. That kicks ass. The maker of the list scores 0. That's awesome. So again, this is not a list to be taken at all seriously, and yet here it is. That's what I've done. I went and took this like it was a real gamer quiz, and I scored an 11 out of 30. What does that say about me? What does that say about anyone? That says it's a really good list and I enjoyed it. Thank you, Lily. We also have a second list that has way more games, so I'm just gonna go through this lightning round style. Let's bring this up. There it is. Look at that. If you want to play along, this list is available here. This one is made by Swirl Drop, who had a similar idea, but this list might actually contain games that people have played, which is nice. Yeah, shout out to Drop. Drop plays all kinds of shit. If you love Dreamcast games, I don't think anyone else here on Twitch loves the Dreamcast as much as Drop does. Like, D2 is their favorite game ever. That's a game that I own, but I've never actually played all the way through it. Also, a lot of demo discs on Drop's channel. I appreciate seeing that stuff. Very recommended follow. Alright, so for this one, this is simpler. This is just which of these games did you play, not beat. So, some of you may actually score pretty well on this one. Ridge Racer gives us all what we need, it's true. I love this soundtrack. I've been listening to this the last few weeks. Okay, the score to beat is 7. It's decided. Let's see if we can beat famous streamer dot level. Bad Rats, fuck you. Should I even go through the list of Bad Rats? If you're not familiar, for a time, Bad Rats was a game that people would gift each other on Steam as a joke because they would sell it for like 5 cents. I think even I have a copy, but I haven't booted it up. It's like this weirdly gory puzzle game. Never played that shit. Death Crimson, holy shit. I have beaten that. I've beaten it, I've streamed it. I've streamed Death Crimson 2. I've streamed Death Crimson Ox. I even own copies of every single game in the series. I tell you what's tempting. The other day... Hang on, let me show you this. Collector alert. Collectors, take note. A slabbed copy of Death Crimson Ox is available up on eBay right now for a not terrible price. I'm legit tempted. That's literally not much more than it costs for just a sealed copy without the slab. So if you want that, if you want it to be slabbed, they've already done it for you. God, I love Death Crimson. One of these days I want to get into Death Crimson 2, which, if you're unfamiliar, the whole series is just really twisted, terrible light gun games. But for Death Crimson 2, they turned it into Resident Evil for some reason. It's got tank controls, adventure game sequences. It's also kind of unbearable, and no one's attempted to stream more than 10 minutes of it. Okay, so. Bubsy 3D, of course I've beaten Bubsy 3D. I rented that shit. I rented it and beat it, and then they said, oh, you get the bad ending because you didn't get all the rockets. And I said, fuck you, you're going back to Blockbuster. Never thinking about you again. I'm just kidding. I think about Bubsy 3D constantly. One of these days I gotta do that stream playthrough. I've seen people bounce off that game like hardcore, like they refuse to even address it. They're just like, oh no, I can't play this. This is terrible. Okay, we have an 8 from Obscuratory. We have an 8 from Strawbros. It's looking pretty good. The Ring Terror's Realm. Of course, I've beaten the Ring Terror's Realm. I've actually did this, I did this in a cooperative playthrough one Halloween with my former roommate. It was a lot of fun. The game starts really strong, and it's like, in my opinion, one of the funniest video games ever made in the first hour or so. And then it's just a complete slog for the next 10 hours. And then the last hour of the game is, again, some of the funniest shit I've ever seen, so I'm not sure what to think of it. I do know I like the soundtrack, though. I still laugh thinking about the intro of that game. You okay, lady? Lunar Dragon Song. Who got fucked by this one? Who was super excited for a DS sequel to Lunar, and then it turns into Dragon Song. An RPG where if you run, it reduces your hit points, where it's possible to spend an entire bankroll of money that you've earned over 2 hours of grinding on equipment, only for it to break in the next battle. True shit game. Just unbelievably bad. Horrible. I don't have enough bad things to say about it. Now, Big Rigs. That's at least a fun, horrible game. A classic for sure. I think one of the big gamer bucket list moments should be hitting reverse in Big Rigs. Because it honestly feels real good. There's no upper limit to how fast you can reverse in that game. You just end up going at like light speed after a while. You have a complete box Big Rigs. That's awesome. Oh, Spartanberry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you bought it. Also, welcome. See, the people who played Lunar Dragon Song know. I can go to those people and be like, you know, you've been through it. Rogue Warrior. Is that the game with the guy who cusses all the time? Someone knows the answer to this. And like there's a credit sequence where like he raps, only they just like piece together all the dialogue they recorded for him. That's it? Okay, I can count that then. I have played but not beaten Rogue Warrior. By all accounts, an extremely stupid, extremely terrible, but also short first-person shooter. With a guy who just will not stop cussing. Everything he says in the game is just like, fuck this and shit that. Grow up, dude. Sonic Shuffle I've played. I don't want to talk about it. That's a bad game. It's not even good to play with other people. Just everyone gets sad. Atlantis No Nazo. We've been through this. I know Atlantis No Nazo. Beyond the Beyond I have not beaten, but I did rent it back when it was new. That was a terrible weekend, let me tell you. But not as bad as the weekend I spent playing Quest 64. Misty, hello, welcome. Is that what happened? That game seems like it would be the result of some kind of bullshit like that. Let your will demand it be buried with you. Wada can never have this. It's true. You can take it with you. Don't believe what they say. Unlimited Saga. I downloaded the ISO of this to see if it was as inscrutable as everyone says. It was. Daikatana. I have played the PC and the N64 version. Blood 2. I wish I could say that I played Blood 2. Only played Blood 1. Actually pretty recently on stream. And you know what? I actually enjoyed it. I don't play many first-person shooters, but Blood was like super fast and just had a lot of shit going on. I enjoyed it. Unlimited Saga looked like the kind of game that had a lot of cool shit in it, but you really needed to dig. It is super... it is for super Romancing Saga series fans, as far as I can tell. Someday I should play a Romancing Saga. Or a regular Saga. What's the one to start with? Frontier? Is that the one people love? Yes, do exactly that. I know there's someone I could ask for a good entry point. Mort the Chicken. Weirdly relevant in the modern gaming conversation, but it actually is kind of a spoiler to say how he appears in a modern gaming context, so I'll just let that be a surprise. But I have played PS1 Mort the Chicken. It's also like really short. I've been tempted to stream the whole thing because it's like one of those games that you can beat it in like an hour, and it's full of funny FMVs, so it's actually fun to watch for an hour. That's the problem with these games that I want to stream. Like, I can tolerate them, but will they be fun to watch for more than an hour? Often the answer is no. Hey Arnold, remember? Yeah, apparently so. I'm learning more about that game tonight. Romancing Saga 3. It goes on the list. The list of games to one day play. Pac-Man 2. Who doesn't love Pac-Man 2? I'm giving that a huge check mark. Amazing game. Yes, I have beaten it. Yes, I still love it. It's an amazing, misunderstood game, much like Pac-Man himself. If you've never played it, it's one of those point-and-click adventure games where you don't have control over the character, you just kind of indirectly guide him. Only like Pac-Man is really petulant and kind of a little baby. It's so good. I just think that aspect of it people don't like. They want to have more direct control over things and not have a character where if you tell them to do something, they can say no. I loved it. Floygen Brothers. Can you tell this is a Swirl Drop list? Their favorite game, Floygen Brothers, is on here. I have played Floygen Brothers, and I hate the shit out of it. Fuck Floygen Brothers. Terrible game. Exactly. Anyone who's played it just knows instantly just how bad it is. It's so bad. And yet Drop has made it their mission to go around collabing with people to make them play Floygen Brothers. They've done it with like a dozen people so far. It's ridiculous. Lifeline of Pac-Man 2, like, yep. I've played Lifeline. I even streamed it once. That did not go well. It's a game that it's entirely voice-controlled, and the lady does not want to listen to you. In fact, it's kind of like Pac-Man 2. Maybe I like it. I'll have to rethink this. Dragon Ball drop. Do you think anyone has legit played the Ninja Gaiden arcade ROM hack, Dragon Ball, where it changes everything to be Goku and shit and looks completely terrible? No one's played that. No one ever. More people have played Trio the Punch. Now that's a classic. Pure Data East from start to finish. No one has any reason to play Porky Pig's Haunted Holiday. Extremely skippable platformer for Super Nintendo. Die Hard Nakatomi Plaza. Drop's a big first-person shooter fan as far as I know, so I'm kind of lost on that. You figured it out. Someone ought to do a Trio the Punch remastered that like extremely shortens all those blob levels at the end of the game. The game has a real pacing problem, but it's good. Yeah, Land of the Dead. How long has it been since you've thought of Land of the Dead? I have not played that, unfortunately. Bullet Witch, though. Bullet Witch is one of my favorite 360 games. I beat it on hard, but not hardest. This game does kind of a funny thing where it gives you all the achievement points except for hardest. Hardest is the last thing you unlock. It's harder than anything else you'll ever do in that game, and it gives you 1 achievement point. So I have 999 out of 1,000 achievement points for Bullet Witch. Also extremely unplayable by modern standards. It's a third-person shooter where the shooting doesn't work anything like you'd think. It's unpleasant. It's very Cavia. It's the game they made right before Nier, I think. I gotta make some kind of apology, or like, well, not an apology from me, but an apology for Cavia. Like some video that's all like, you didn't understand Cavia. They're actually genius. Drakengard, Winback 2, Bullet Witch. The Cavia fandom's dying. Speaking of dying fandoms, Vampire Reign. I hear there's an improved version of this for PS3. Vampire Reign is seriously like a 2 out of 10 game for Xbox 360. It's one of those games where it's like stealth-based and also impossible, so you can't enjoy it. And like, they remade it for PS3, and I'm curious to see what they added to make it at all palatable. It is pure trash. Talk about games that are like a challenge to enjoy. Nihilistic is an interesting word to describe Cavia games, and yet I could see it, yeah. How would you describe this company's output? Nihilistic. Actually, yeah. You were empty. Another PC FPS, I assume. Get out of here, Drop. Thank you for making this list. Gex? Sure, I played Gex. I rented Gex for the PS1 when it was still kind of new. And I beat it the first day that I had it for rental. So what I did afterwards is I went back and got all the remotes and got the super secret ending that very few people have seen. The game goes nuts when you do that. It gives you like this 10-minute text scroll that's all like, holy shit, you beat Gex! Oh my god! It's a thing to see. Hello, Hexagon Witch. We're talking about Gex. It's cool how you just assume they would be emulation problems. I love when that happens. That's like how I bought a legit copy of Ultraverse Prime for Sega CD, because I was like, no way did they fuck up the mastering on these audio tracks that bad. Like, this has to be a bad rip. And no, it's just like that. Transformers Convoy no Nazo. Who loves this game? There's at least one person here who loves this game dearly. I don't share that love, but I do respect it. Impossible video game for aliens. You die in one hit. There's nothing about it that you could possibly like, even if you like the show. And yet it exists. It's still kind of alluring in that weird Kusoge sort of way. Not in the kind of way where I'm sure if I want to actually experience it for myself, though. Yeah, shooting the Decepticon logo, because they run out of enemies to fight. You end up fighting the dang logos. Darkseid, I played it. I haven't beaten it, but I have seen the long play. And of course the the long play of Darkseid too. They released both these games for Sega Saturn in Japan, of all things. Especially Dark Seed 2, that's just so weird to me. Yeah, it is spelled Mystery of Convoy. I have the cartridge. That's how it's spelled on there. Martian Gothic is like a PS1 game, right? Is it a Resident Evil-like? Has anyone played this? I want to say it has like really bad voice acting or something. I've heard of this for some reason, but I've never actually played it. It is a Resident Evil-like? Okay. Yeah, I tend to like those, so maybe I should check that out. I also tend to like 3D platformers, but I've played Rascal, and that is legit one of the worst I've ever played. We did it for Mascot Friday a few weeks ago. Extremely punishing. Punishing not in terms of difficulty, but in just like the act of playing it feels like punishment. It's really quite something. It never feels like you're making any kind of progress or doing anything that matters. Sentient. Somehow not the first time this has come up tonight. I have played Sentient, but I haven't beaten it. I haven't come anywhere close. Holy shit. I hear that Chubo might be streaming this right now if you want to see it. Extremely strange adventure game for PS1. Mansion of Hidden Souls, we've been over it. I'm a big fan. Fork in the Tail. Who owns a copy of Fork in the Tail and is never ever going to play it again for as long as they live? It's me. It's me. Macaw played all the way through this recently, and he came to the conclusion that it's an extremely normal FMV game, except for the fact that they added Rob Schneider voiceover through the game, like wall to wall. Like they felt like the game didn't have enough selling points or something, so they were just like, we're gonna have Rob Schneider riff on everything. We're gonna literally ruin the game. It is pretty funny when you think about it that way, but like, even without the Rob Schneider, it's extremely, extremely hard to understand. Very difficult to play. I want to say Maruni tried playing all the way through it. And we did too on Retro Pals. It's just very, very, very tough game to get into. She thinks of it as the worst game of all time. Yeah. I agree. She doesn't even need to argue it. She could just say it's the worst game of all time and I'll be like, yep. Yeah, early press releases didn't even mention the Rob Schneider, so literally they just had this extremely esoteric adventure game ready to go, and they just could not figure out what to do with it, so they just had Rob Schneider record new voiceovers and ruin it. Tell you what, Superman 64 could have used some Rob Schneider. That would have fixed things. I haven't come anywhere close to beating Superman 64. I have a 3DO and I've played Cyberdillo on it. Nauseating game. First-person shooter with extremely bad frame rate. But it's also a 3DO exclusive, and it's kind of interesting. But also, it makes me sick to play it, so who's to say whether it's good or bad? I've heard of this next game. The Bouncer. Another candidate for a RetroPal stream, I'm pretty sure, because it's like short, right? You can beat this in like 3 hours. But I wonder if it's at all interesting. Past the title screen, yeah. Beyond the Bouncer. I don't know, even if it's boring, I could stand to play it if it's just a couple hours long. That's the Square game, right? The PS2 launch era title. The game that everyone was mad at Square Enix for a time, for some reason. Sonic Schoolhouse? I'm an adult. What reason do I have to play Sonic Schoolhouse? Unless I run a stream about bad games for Twisted Gamers. Unless I did that. That was fun. Tech War I have not played. Limbo of the Lost I actually have played. I don't stream many PC games, but this is one of the ones I'm considering just because, like, everything about it is so weird and bad and stolen. It's an adventure game that's, like, years after the fact, it was found that they just ripped off a lot of assets from places. And it has, like, an ending theme song, I think. The King of Limbo. It's coming back to me. Oh my god. stop. We have to get off this line of thought. Oh no, I have repressed limbo of the lost memories. Rise of the Robots, sure. At this point, I've probably played every version just because of how I do streaming and do research and stuff. It came out for CDI, which is kind of weird. You don't think of the CDI being able to do real games, even if they're bad games. And yet, they actually did that. Something funny is that the first functional CDI emulator was made by the guy who programmed the CDI version of Rise of the Robots. That emulator plays one game, Rise of the Robots. He finished that emulator enough for it to play that game perfectly, and then nothing else. Dropped off the face of the earth afterwards. King shit. Catechumen. I, believe it or not, here in Austin, at some point, one of the local half-price books had a hidden cache of dozens of copies of Catechumen, and a friend of mine bought one for me for Christmas one year. So yeah, I have played Catechumen. That would be a stream candidate, except it's kind of like glitchy and hard to get to work. Duke Nukem Forever. Fuck Duke Nukem Forever. Notable bad game, Duke Nukem Forever. Have not played the prototype build that came out recently, though. Glover, I've fucked with Glover. We did that on a Mascot Friday. We've also spent several Mascot Fridays trying to finish Sonic 06, and someday we're gonna do it. We beat the Sonic story, we beat Silver's story, we just gotta do Shadow now. And the final story, eventually. Yeah, Rise of the Robots was out on 8 platforms. Not Sega Genesis, though. They blocked it from a US release. It only came out on Mega Drive in Europe. There's also like Super Nintendo and like Game Boy and Game Gear. I am too. The thing about Sonic 06 is a little bit of it goes a long way, so it's going to be a couple months before I feel like playing it again, but I really want to get to the end of that. Hakayo. You may have seen Dot and Fang play this recently on Fang's stream. Extremely demented game where you turn into a giant monster and just have to blow up stuff. Only you control like a boat, and it's impossible to play, but it's also pretty funny. It's a classic of Kusoge for sure. Rise somehow didn't get a Game Boy port. Unbelievable. Everything else did back then. The Crow, I'm gonna assume that's the Crow City of Angels for Sega Saturn. Hell yeah, I've played that. This is a game that I'm curious if anyone can get good at. Like, I've seriously tried to play it all the way through the end just out of curiosity, and you can't. It's just so hard. Even if you can come to grips with the controls, everything just overwhelms you. Heta Oni is a really funny game to put on this list, holy shit. This is like, what, an RPG Maker game or something, where like a guy with a big blue head? No, wait, that's Ao Oni. What's Heta Oni? Oh, no! I know what Heta Oni is. I realized what it was just like in that exact moment I just had. So there's this, it's like Lily says, there's this RPG Maker game called Ao Oni, where this guy with this big blue head like chases you. A lot of people have played it. It's kind of a meme game. And then they went and put in Hetalia characters and made it like this serious drama where everyone's always getting injured or killed or something. Drop played it, and Jesus Christ. I can't believe that it exists. I've also never played it though. Maybe it's a hidden gem. Kiss Psycho Circus, played it for Dreamcast, didn't care for it much. Though I hear from people who have actually put time into it that it's actually good. I'm not the one to say though. Carrier, a freaking, what is this, Jalico survival horror game for Dreamcast? I tell you, there's very few survival horror games for Dreamcast, but they're all extremely fucked up in different ways. There's like, okay, speaking of which, the next one, Blue Stinger. Yeah, I've played that. There's also the Ring Terror's Realm. There's freaking Illbleed, of course. Illbleed is one of those games. Just something about survival horror games on Dreamcast. Blue Stinger is the GOAT. I still get the fucking Christmas music stuck in my head every so often. The worst part is, like, it's on this cycle where if I don't see the game long enough, I do forget the song, but everyone plays it like every 6 months or so, so it's always fresh in my head. Now that I want to play through. Illbleed, I don't want to talk about Illbleed, but Blue Stinger, that seems like the kind of game that I might enjoy if I actually played through it on stream. Polar Express, bet your ass we played that. I don't think it ranked too well in the Mascot Friday rankings. BioForge is some PC shit? Hang on, let me confirm. An Origin Systems game? This sounds sick. Is this a Siberia-like? If Siberia was on this list, I'd be able to check that off. Siberia spelled C-Y-B-E-R, by the way. Okay, no, this sounds really good. I gotta check out BioForge. It's got a flute! I'm sold. Numpad control setup. I see. And you can backflip. If only it was BioForge Ape. If only. Clock Tower Ghost Head, we've been over this. I've not played it. Stop asking. Seven Mansions. That's a fan-translated horror game for PS1, I think. I think that may have been on a patron poll for Retro Pals, but it didn't win. Waxworks, Amiga adventure game. It's either similar to or from the same people as the Elvira games. Again, one of those kind of games that I like to watch people play, but not necessarily want to play myself. It's basically another Elvira game. Yeah, that's what it looked like to me. Cool looking games, but everyone agrees that they're just extremely painful to play. Lagoon, let's go. Lagoon fan club, where are you at? Who loves Lagoon? Who doesn't love a Lagoon? You just got your Super Nintendo? You're going up to Blockbuster, looking for your next great RPG to play because you love Final Fantasy II? You think Lagoon, of course. Kemco wouldn't let me down. And then you play Lagoon. And then you take it back to Blockbuster. I hear, yeah, if you play all the way through it, you eventually learn to love it. And I have watched the speedrunner PJ DeCesar play through this. He was really good at this game. If you watch an expert speedrunner play Lagoon, it looks way more fun than it is. I still want to play the X68000 version someday, because that's literally an Ys ripoff. It's got bump combat instead of whatever shit they had in the Super Nintendo one. Dragon Lore is not... What am I getting this mixed up with? It's not Dragon View. This is a Counter-Strike skin. Drop, you fucked up. Dragon Lore is not a real game. Dragon Lore video game. Cryo Interactive, get the fuck out. You really hitting me with a Cryo Interactive game this late in the list? You gonna do this? God. Unbelievable. I've played a few Cryo games, that's not one of them. I want to stream Lost Eden someday, I think that's them. The thing about Cryo is they've made so many games. They've made so many games, and so many of them are so bad. The evil brother of Dragon Data. Hey, Crush Gals. Juggernaut. This game holds the same place in my brain as Sentient in the genre of just inexplicable, inscrutable PS1 games. But this one's made by Jalico. Supposedly it's a Mansion of Hidden Souls-like, which has me intrigued. And yeah, people have requested this from us before. It's basically Mansion of Hidden Souls, but by Jalico, so it's everything I want in a video game. Misty, thank you for the follow. Almost through this list. I don't know what I'm going to do after this. I haven't even played a video game. Urban Yeti, again, played it, not beat it. Maybe someday. Hell Knight, the game that I got mixed up with Death Knight? Death Note? That arcade game? Whatever, I've played it but haven't beaten it. The Note. A PAL exclusive, or rather Japanese developed English localization exclusive to PAL regions game for PS1. It's one of those games where things progress on a timer, and you have to follow the clock and do your daily routine. And at one point we missed the right time to do something, and we soft locked. Incredible game. Highly recommended. And of course, Mortal Kombat Mythology Sub-Zero, which I've played, and which I can't wait to see Dot play more of. What an amazing game that is. I was looking up the developer of a different game today. A different, somewhat recent cursed game. And it's made by Avalanche Software, who hasn't made a game in the last 5 years, but boy, the game they released in the last week, I tell you, has been a flashpoint of internet arguments. So good job, guys. You've come a long way since Mortal Kombat Mythology Sub-Zero. And with that, we're done. I did a lot better on this list than Lily did. I mean, on Lily's list. Lily, I don't know how you did on this list. I'm sure you did well. Let's count this up. 13, 16, 17, 19, 20, 21, 4, 5, 36, 38, 40. Look at that. Look at that really good 5 I drew. We got a big 50. I'm feeling good about that one. That's a good list. Good work, Drop. Okay, now that we're at the end, anyone want to repost their scores? I saw a few single digits posted before. Any score at all is good. Being a good variety gamer is always good. Or if you stick to what you like, hell, I'm not going to tell you what to do. We got a 0. We got a 1. A 3 from Farmsteads. 1 from Plombo and another Gnomon. 8 from Obscuratory, that's pretty good. Again, this list is easier because it just says games you played, not beaten. If Drop was talking beaten, I'd be getting a whole lot lower of a score, but... Yeah, what is that one? I bet it's, I bet it's Bullet Witch. Good scores? An 8, a 7, a 1. Even a 1 is okay, because it means that you might have played something like Cyberdillo. I want to meet the guy whose only game that they've played on this list is Cyberdillo. That guy's a sicko. Now here's what I'm wondering. I'm getting a little bit of inspiration from this list. Out of any game on this list, I wonder what I should stream. Eventually, not tonight. Lagoon is a game that I actually like and want to play more of. That might appear on stream at some point. Blue Stinger, I think we mentioned. I definitely want to stream that. There's games that I'd like to stream, but they're impossible. Like, supposedly DuckStation has a really good cheat engine. And what I want to do someday is get these truly impossible games and just cheat my ass off at them. Like, I think that's the only way I can get through The Crow, for instance. I don't know, looking at this list, I think we've... of the games we've streamed, we pretty well covered them. I don't want to go back for Fork in the Tail. Not especially inclined to play Superman 64. There's always Lifeline. Have y'all noticed how many people have played Lifeline just in the last year? It's a borderline meme game at this point. Which is weird, because it's just so infuriating if you try to actually play it. If anyone you follow has ever finished Lifeline, they have infinite patience. Keep them close. I'm also Quest 64 curious. I hear that that game can be broken pretty easily. Mort the Chicken. Mort the Chicken, I think that's going at the top of our list because it's so short. I just like those really short, memorable games, even if they're kind of stupid. That basically describes Mort the Chicken. Time for Deca Voice. I did my time with Deca Voice. Is that Jalico PS2 microphone controlled game? I tell you, I've never been more tired than I was at the end of that microphone controlled PS2 game stream. We did a bunch of Jalico shit. There was that freaking oh god, how do I even describe this? That one game where you dub over scenes of a cartoon, but all the character designs are by Spumco and they look hideous. But it's Japanese. What the hell game was that? Yeah, Bozo dubbed over. Hey, Hybrid Reverb. Oh, it's gonna kill me. There were 2 of them. It was released for PS2. I'm just gonna look this up. Yoake no Mariko. That's what that's called. Now that's an obscure game. I kind of wish more games did more mechanics with microphone control. You see that so rarely, and yet when it does pop up in games, I just think it's interesting. Because, like, I think one of the Karaoke Revolutions tried to have mini games that were microphone controlled. They had this volleyball game and this Pong game where, like, the pitch of your voice determined where on the screen the paddle would be. But also, voice control is a real hard thing to get right, so I can see why more people haven't done it. Stream on games that use the FDS microphone. There's what? Zelda? And, I literally can't think of any other ones. Also, I think the FDS microphone is just a binary thing. It doesn't detect your voice. It just determines whether sound is coming through it. Kid Icarus, yeah, you can argue with the shopkeepers. Racing pitch, huh? Well, I'm glad someone's trying out stuff with voice controls. I guess that's, like I said, just something that's really hard to get right. Yeah, Alien Front Online. It was packed with a freaking microphone. And they didn't make use of voice controls. What the hell? It was just for online play. Who does that? Okay, we're all done with this. Pretty good score. I think I underperformed on Lily's list and overperformed on Drop's list. So I think I passed the gamer test. I'm gonna apply for Gamer College, everybody. Wish me luck. Let me just save these and close some windows. What the hell? I've been doing this for an hour and a half? I thought I couldn't do a just chatting stream. Like, what the hell do I have to chat about? But here we are. All I had to do was talk about video games. That's the secret. Okay, I can't just not play a video game. What's a game that I want to play? Is Rygar stream ready? Usually I only like to stream games that I'm moderately good at, because I don't like to embarrass myself at video games. I think I'm okay at Rygar. I'm like nowhere close to the end, but maybe we can give this a shot. Is it Halloween? Jeez, I thought we just had Christmas. Did we miss Valentine's Day? That's a problem. That's my birthday. We've looped all the way back to Halloween, but that's okay. I like Halloween. Thank you for redeeming that, Luna. Let's play Rygar. Anyone know Arcade Rygar? If you know Rygar at all, it's from the NES version, but I've been playing a shit ton of Arcade Rygar recently. Yeah, what the heck is Arcade Rygar? Who's ever played that? No one, that's who. Oh, thank you for the early birthday wishes. I'm gonna be streaming on my birthday, you should watch it. Oh, yeah, Takeshi no Chosenjo. That's, of course, that uses the microphone. I forgot all about that. Yeah, that's another game I want to get through on stream. We tried, and like, I hit a rare bug or some kind of progression problem where we just couldn't finish it. Oh, everybody's playing the dating sim on Valentine's Day. Too busy to hang out with poor old Nanny on their birthday. Even though it's their birthday. You say it's Valentine's Day. It's been my birthday before it was Valentine's Day, alright? Thank you. It's like, it's what, 4 days from now? Okay. Thank you, R4 OST, for your service. Let's play some freaking Rygar. This is a game where anything can happen. All three, Noman. Rygar. Alright, Mame, you gonna show up? Is this gonna be one of those streams where Mame shows up? It does. Whoops. There we go. We've got the game name. We've got the capture. I didn't forget to turn off the background again. I'm slowly learning how to do this stream stuff. Yeah, what if a guy had a yo-yo, but it was a really big yo-yo with like spikes on it? And also the guy was a barbarian? Rygar doesn't get enough credit for being a barbarian. He's been kind of erased from the barbarian canon. And that's a shame if you ask me. He is a barbarian. He doesn't have a shirt on. Do I need say anything more? That's the only qualifying thing that involves barbarians. You ain't got a shirt on, you got some kind of weapon, you're in the club. Alright, let's see just how loud this is. Yeah, let me turn it down a little bit more just to be sure. Yeah, we can turn that up a little. Okay. Wrestlers are barbarians. You're starting to get it. There are more people who are barbarians compared to people who aren't. We'll all be better off as soon as we all realize this. Alright, let's fucking do this. Has it been that long? 4.5 billion years? Oh, actually, the game is really quiet. It's just the credit noise was really loud. I'll turn it back up after the level. God, this game's so good. It's technically a platformer, but there's so little... the platforming in itself has so... there's so little of it compared to the combat. You can barely call it a platformer. Most of the time you're just hammering down that button, trying to hit all these creatures. Platforming without the platforms. A show about nothing. Yeah, that looks about right. What did the fish say when it hit the wall? BBH, how do people get good at this game? I've played it for a really long time, and I feel like I'm owed being good at it. Is there a way I can tell the game that? Oh yeah, there's more songs in the NES soundtrack, to be sure. If you're gonna have one song in the game, though, this is at least a pretty good one. That was a button check. Sounds doable. Okay, I'll go back in time to when they invented, what was that, Rishgar? And start from there. 4.5 billion years have passed. S. Let's fight. People don't know. People don't know how hard it was to play arcade games way back when. There used to be emulators that weren't MAME. Emulators that only supported one game. For a while I used this one called, what was it called, Sparcade or something? If it wasn't just literally Starcade. That supported a whole bunch of games. And it ran on my 486, which MAME did not. Figuring out Tower of Jiraga is one thing, but yeah, the actual process of sitting down and playing all the way through it, that's another. Because that's like seriously 90 minutes of really precise gameplay. Really specialized too. You can't play other games to get better at Tower of Jiraga. You paid money for a Gauntlet emulator? That sounds like something people would do back then. The first thing I bought on the internet off of a news group was a CDR copy of Dracula X for PC Engine. It was worth it. It played great in Magic Engine, which I did not pay for. I'm pretty sure there were way more people who didn't pay for Magic Engine than who did actually pay. Like, y'all made a good emulator and all, but, I ain't gonna pay no $40 for no emulator. Come on, dude. Might as well pay for iNES. I remember that too, BPH. That one site who just made a big deal of finally dumping and releasing Dracula X. People were just like, this is gonna take a week for me to download. What the hell? You couldn't just get ISOs in a matter of seconds. I was there when they did that for Sega CD games too. Like the first Sega CD ISO to be ripped and distributed in a playable form was Bill Walsh College Football for Sega CD. They started with the big ones. Of course I downloaded it. Only took like a week. Oh yeah, Lily, you've played PS2 Rygar. What, yeah, what in there is similar to this? Because I would have no idea. That game looks cool, though. There's a bunch of stuff that carried over from here to the NES Rygar. And most people prefer that one. Which, fair enough. A flying island level, I see. PS2 Rygar, of all things, was literally my dad's favorite game. He just got into it for some reason. He was like, is there something like God of War, but like better? And I was like, play Rygar. And he was like, fuck yeah, this rules. You move the statue, but it doesn't play the music? What's the fucking point? Why even bother? That sucks. I bet it doesn't even have the jingle when you get the 1,000,000-point pickup. I think that's my goal for tonight, to get the really big super scoring item in this game. I'm not good enough at this to beat it, or 1 credit cleared at this point. But I have gotten to the point where you can get that super secret item. So if we can get that tonight, I'm going to count that as a win. Best enemies in the game coming up. Look at these guys. Rygar versus huge lizards. Yeah, chameleons. I'm also at this weird point where I can play for score, but it's very dangerous because I'm not good yet. Like, I get the strategies behind, like, killing the boss in 1 hit and getting the secret bonus and all, but it's very risky to play like that. And I think this game works, like, the longer you stay in a level, the difficulty ramps up, so you just want to complete these as soon as possible. But it's so fun to play for score is the problem. Like, I'll have really good runs going, and I'll be like, I can totally jump on that boss guy to kill him in 1 hit. It doesn't work, and I just lose all my power-ups. This part is scary. Dudes just drop on you. Whew, okay, that went pretty well. Oh man, people finally getting the rare chance to discuss PS2 Rygar. Blessed chat. I wonder about that Wii version. They released it for Wii, and all they did was change the character model to be more sexy or something. Rygar with added sexiness. Okay, I have to focus on this level. This level is some bullshit. Mostly because of these guys. Yeah, they had to sexy it up a little. Oof. Okay, please be across. Nope. Okay, good news. We have a guaranteed cross drop coming up, but I have to get to it. That's the bad news. There it is. Oh, let's go. Big points. Whew, okay. It's really good to get to that point without a death. Very satisfying points. The big 160k. Another thing I want to do eventually is get best ranking. I want the game to tell me that I'm best. Shouldn't have gone back. Tempted by the points. Onimusha Eldor. I've been watching some of that recently. Those games look good. I somehow completely missed Onimusha back when it was new. I could kill this boss by jumping on it. I could totally kill this guy just by jumping on him. It's super risky and not worth it, but... Oop, I fucked it up. We're not gonna do it. I got spooked. If you have the tiger power up, you can jump on that guy to kill him instantly, and it gives you a big score. It's like 50,000, I think. But also I'm at the point where we don't have any more score extends, so points are kind of worthless. Spartan Berry, that sounds twisted. Who would do that? Apparently me. Yeah, we almost saw the time up monster. I don't want to deal with that guy. There's people who can dodge him forever. I'm not one of those people. Zip. It's okay. Take it slow. You always want to rush during this part, but you gotta resist the temptation. Oh yeah, BBH, good luck with that. If you can get it to register. I saw some of that last night. That was kind of bullshit. I've been really tempted by retro achievements, but it requires RetroArch. You sure did. It's the kind of thing where you can one credit clear a game and it's just like, no, you didn't. It feels like you should be able to argue with it, like, look, I've got documented 1CZs on this, give me my damn achievement. We're good. These guys are a problem. The flying guys really become a problem in this level. They introduce them in level 1, make you think they're not a big deal, and then they become a big deal. It's really cool how they can just drop 2 guys, even though it looks like 1. They do that a lot. Whoa, okay. That should have killed me. I'm alright. Yeah, you somehow beat the middle of the game, but not the end pieces. That's a pretty impressive achievement in its own right. Oh yeah, all the Johnny Turbo games went cheap for a while. I wonder if those are still up for sale. I don't think those were as profitable as Mr. Brandstetter thought they might be. Oh, they're already gone. It's for the best. They use like an old version of MAME or something. I have died so many times at the end of this level. I'm legit scared because of these guys. These guys are the worst. They appear for literally the last 2 screens of this level, and they will fuck you up. Whoa! Okay. Sorry for the weird noises. I'm playing Rygar. You got to meet Johnny Turbo, that rules. He's a game industry luminary. I'd be starstruck too. Okay. Yeah, I didn't land fast enough to fire it off. Hazel Bunny, hello. Excuse me, Banui. Was glad to see you playing Link to the Past again the other day. That's one of those things where I gotta get back into it, but... And I intended to make it a thing, but then just like you, I stopped streaming for 2 months. What the fuck was that? Did you hear that? BBH, is that new? What did I do? I made it play a previously unheard jingle. That's cool. Oh, I gotta book it. Oh no. We gotta hurry up monster and boss monster. It's fine. The problem solved itself. In fact, now's a good time to repower up again. That'll help. I'm remixing Rygar. They call me the Rygar remixer. I'm gonna take music from this game and put like trap beats over it and then copyright it. So I own Rygar now. Alright, this is the level. This is the level where the big points item is. I gotta get this. The objective is to get the item and hear the little jingle it plays. Start to finish. This is a big achievement of gamer I'm going for right now. Excuse me. That was... Excuse me, that was a legit gamer gasp right there. Let's see if I went so far that I can no longer get the item. That could be the case. Well, now I definitely fucked it up. Those fucking little guys, I hate them. No million points for me. It was right back there, but not anymore. I get emotional when I play this game, dude. I want it to get to the point where it's like playing Ghouls and Ghosts. But I am not at that point just yet. Shucks! This is still gonna be a pretty good run. If I can get through this level, I'll be halfway through the game. God! You see what they do? They're carrying 2 dudes and they can just drop one, or both, or neither. What the... I think that's new, too. Another thing PBH has never seen. Oh, this is the Rygar data mining stream. Just here to document the things that people who have played this game 1,000 times haven't seen. You bastard. What am I doing to Rygar? I don't even know. I got some kind of fucked up Billy Mitchell cabinet. Getting a lot of CV3 Fleamen vibes from this. Yeah, imagine if a game was nothing but Fleamen, just in different shapes and sizes, and that's pretty much Rygar. Extremely mean mins in this game. I could break 1,000,000. I can break 1,000,000 if I tried again. I could do it right now. 4.5 billion years have passed. C. I think for this run, I'm just going to completely ignore scoring. Because I get the 500,000 no matter what. And that's all that matters for extends. $1,000,000 points hype. Can we get some hype in the chat? That's a really uncool thing to ask unless you're like at GDQ or something. Hey guys, can I have some hype for me, please? Not detecting enough hype for this 1986 arcade game. Please hype. There's that hype. Alright, good. I guess all I gotta do is ask for it. Checked your couch cushions, but you're all out of hype. Hey, Snake Man. You ever play this one? Hey, Solaris, too. Thank you for the hype. I have some deep Rygar lore that I may want to share. Yeah, I want to share it. Y'all want to know the last time I saw a Rygar arcade cabinet? They had one at the Classic Gaming booth setup at E3 2014. Right next to all the new AAA bullshit games that no one cares about, they had Rygar. Hey Chris, thanks for the sub. Appreciate it. They had Rygar and like a couple other cabinets that I forgot what they were. And they had a bunch of stuff under glass, like Atari tattoos and badges and stuff. Memorabilia. They had this big case dedicated to Mouse Cop that I thought about just putting in the garbage, but I was also there covering it, the event as a journalist. They wouldn't have liked that. Yeah, like a museum type thing. So they had Rygar there, and it was like second day of the event. I passed by that booth like several times, and I was like, fuck it. I got a bunch of time to my next meeting or whatever. Jonathan Blow can wait. I'm gonna play some Rygar. So that's what I did. I wasn't very good back then, but I played some arcade Rygar. And as I was playing it, some guy was walking by with his friend. And he was like, dude, there's so many new games here. Why would you play these bullshit old games? Stupid. Why'd they do this? And I'm like, dude, this is the best game I've played in the last 48 hours. Shut the fuck up. I didn't say that because I didn't want to start a fight, but, you know, I wanted to say it. I was like, I wanted to be like, dude, I literally just got away from a non-playable meeting featuring Disney Infinity 2.0. This is like mana from heaven compared to that. Yeah, Disney Infinity. Another great Avalanche software product. From the makers of Mortal Kombat Mythologies and the Wizard game. No one up. Someday I gotta talk someone, possibly Rachel Retro, into disassembling this game and see what awards you the one-up. Because I have no idea what determines whether you get the one-up in this stage or not. I don't think anyone does. Hey Rachel, you want to hack a game for me? There's a mystery that's been plaguing arcade fans for years. Sometimes a one-up appears in this level and sometimes it doesn't. Maybe the mystery's already been solved, but I don't know the answer yet. Just got back from dinner. Perfect! Give yourself a 5-minute break and then start hacking Rygar. Thank you. Yeah, we got it! I know arcade is probably not your expertise, it's fine. It's fine. You can reprogram Atlantis Nonazo to be playable. You can do anything. Put Rygar in a Mario game. I don't think anyone likes Rygar enough to do that. He's not Sonic. Oh, I don't like this. Okay, we're good. It's a me, Rygario. He'd be sad. He has a tragic backstory. His yo-yo weapon is actually his wife. Chris Pratt is Rygar. They'll do it. You joke, but they're scraping the data from this site as we speak. And if enough people bring up the possibility of Chris Pratt as Rygar, they'll make it happen. I think a Rygar movie would just be like a dude going around, seeing all these creatures and going, "What the fuck are you?" That'd be the whole movie. Whoa, fuck! What an asshole! If you're just now joining, I'm trying to find my niche as the emotional Rygar player. I'm getting there. I'd like a weapon. I heard the multiplayer in that was good. I did play a couple hours of Bionic Commando 2K9. It was alright. It's one of the few games where I feel like it should have been open world, which I never say about anything, because it felt so good to swing in that game, but the environments were just so restrictive. With all those invisible walls. Hire me, Capcom. Oh boy. You gotta go. Okay. This could be bad. Oh no. Oh no. What am I doing? What am I doing? Once again, the emotional Rygar gamer lets their emotions get the best of them. God, that era of games. I wish that era of games just didn't have story instead of the stories they made. Like, you can have a story when you're ready to treat it seriously, and not when not when you have the ideas you have. The second I became not invincible, it killed. The guy. He hit me. To get good at this game, you have to not let the guy hit you. I hate these guys. Look what they do. They just make a big mess. Sheesh. Yeah, imagine having a life bar. I can't. He's got a life bar and health refills. What an asshole. I'll do it. Don't think I won't do it. I still have a chance. I was lowering the rank. Wait a minute, I can just kill this guy. Yeah, no sweat. It's no problem if you're a gamer like me. That's the problem with the world. Not enough gamers. Just think about how much better we'd be off if there were more gamers. How to beat NES Rygar. That's a pretty good game. I gotta beat this one first, though, so I don't miss out on the lore. Jeez, you guys. I think these guys should be nicer to me, considering it's my birthday soon. Don't they know? I think I've mentioned this before, but I think it would be nice if MAME had a toggle for you to tell it that it's your birthday. If you turn it on, the games are nicer to you. Phew. See, exactly. Everything's just a little bit easier because it's your birthday. It's the great equalizer, too, because you have 24 hours to get good at these slightly nicer video games. How do you spend that 24 hours? Not with your friends and family, playing arcade games. I'd appreciate that too. Just minor changes to the games to be more festive. I don't ask for much, I don't think. This all seems reasonable. What am I doing? That was stupid. Oh my god. We're fine. Everything's cool. You really don't want to jump on those stretchy arm guys. They don't have good hitboxes. Somehow I got away with it, though. Where's that guy going? I saw that coming. At least I had the extra life. This is another one of those parts I should be more respectful of, or at least paying more attention during. This part too. What did I say? Should be more respectful of? That's the problem, not enough respect being paid. I don't like this. That whole situation over there has to clean up its act before I get out of there. Okay, that works. He's got a disrespectful attitude. Alright, another chance at the 1,000,000-point bonus coming up. I've died recently too, so the game's a little bit easier than it would be. See, the secret is actually crucial to the game's theming, because this is the first time you see evidence of a ruined civilization. And Rygar's like, holy shit. Really makes you think. To the tune of 1,000,000 points. Alright, let's see if we get it. Did it! I played the whole jingle! I did it! Mission accomplished! Tonight's gaming is a success. You did it. I mean, I did it. You saw it. That's what you did. Certified gamer moment. If I had moments enabled here on Twitch, I would give out a moment right now, but just consider that an honorary moment. Feels good. I'm officially good enough to get halfway through Arcade Rygar. One of these days I'll do the rest of it. No, that message is fully appropriate. God. I don't know if it was obvious what I did there, but there's a spot in the sky that you have to hit 1 billion times to get a point item to come out. It's pretty much the game's biggest secret. Ooh, okay. I wasn't looking at him, I was looking at the dudes on the ground. Yeah, that was a call I had to make, and I realized that I kind of fucked up after I let it disappear. I was just so focused on getting the screen clear and getting to the item. I only realized later, oh shit, that would have made things a whole lot easier. How do you do it anyway? I've watched like multiple 1cc's of BBH playing through this game. And instead of getting hit by everything, he just like destroys all the monsters and doesn't get killed. It's kind of bullshit if you ask me. Like, in theory, I'm almost ready to play through the whole game, but there's so much shit that can go wrong. It really is the kind of game where you have to think on your feet. You can't just rely on patterns or whatever. Real-time tasking? I knew it. Rygar's big secret. He's like circled with an arrow pointing towards him. Haven't seen this level very often. I usually lose my last life around here. What? The video game is not functioning properly. Oh, that was risky. Don't do that. Don't do that. I think I was 1 pixel too far to the right. Extremely good run, though. I'm very happy with that. I've gotten over 2 million before off stream, but big deal. I got the famous points item. I could send that into Famitsu, and they'll be proud of me. Does Nintendo Power still print high scores? I gotta get on them too. Hey, Nintendo Power. I did kind of good at Rygar Arcade. I know they won't, but they should. They should come back to life just to publish my scores. What a good game. So I'm going to be grinding this off stream. I'm going to play this a lot. I put in some time, but clearly not enough to get all the way through the game, just halfway through it. The thing is, at the halfway point, the game doesn't really introduce much that's new. It's really more a matter of just being able to react to the stuff you've seen the entire game. Only way harder, and everything's faster. The enemies hate you more. That sort of thing. Well, I had fun tonight, and hopefully you did too. Hopefully you have a good rest of your... What is this, Friday? It's Friday. Hope you have a good rest of your Friday. Who am I going to raid here? Who we got? Oh, of course. Chubo. We mentioned Chubo before. He was playing Sentient earlier. He might still be playing it. Right now he's looking at grotty old comics, as he often does. Love a good Chubo grotty comic. and I'm sure you will as well. Yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for the bits and the subs. And thanks for being a cool time. Yeah, that's how I'm going to end this. Thanks for being a cool time, everybody. I'll see you later.